Hey everyone, I'm just getting these alerts off. We are good to go. Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, Trending Thursday. This is Carroll-Sue, aka Live with Two.
Sistas. Hey, good evening, everyone. It's Janis, aka Wellness Diva 5.0. And boy, what's trending on the circle is the garden. Oh my gosh. Just starting to get such fresh vegetables, salad. I could not partake in salad today because I'm like up to here in salad. Cucumbers, peppers, no tomatoes as of yet. We're just starting to get some of the grape tomatoes that are just starting to turn, but they're not ready to be picked yet. And it's just so amazing to see it because every time I walk by there, the smell and it's bountiful, and very soon, especially with the squash. Now the squash, couldn't do squash today. I'm like, okay, this is early in the season for us. And I feel blessed, even though I couldn't have salad today. It's a chore, but you know what? It's kind of neat though, washing off the heads of lettuce, cutting everything up, and oh my goodness. So what's trending for you?
Well, first of all, that sounds amazing because who doesn't like fresh garden vegetables? Just not even fresh vegetables, but fresh garden. And you're right, the sense of, just all that goodness, knowing that you started out as seeds or, little plants or whatever it may be. And now you're seeing the fruits of your labors and things are just starting to really blossom. So that's pretty cool. What is trending for me today it was actually a busy day, but we managed to go see Top Gun, which I was so excited for.
Wasn't it awesome?
Amazing. Nothing like seeing a movie, on the big screen. The music, the storyline, just, seeing the pictures from the first movie as, him actually kind of going through his own reflection. I really thought the actor who played Goose's son, I could have sworn it was him because they look so much alike. And he did an awesome rendition of, being on the piano and all of that. That was pretty cool. But the Jets, and I actually love the opening, the very opening before the movie starts, and you actually get that message from Tom Cruise and really talking about, labor of love and how long it took, and that, each scene, is very, very much authentic as far as, the aircrafts that they were using, the planes and the jets, and, the actual ship is actually in San Diego. I don't know if it's still there, but it was in San Diego that they used. So it was very, all authentic, real, not models, just, the real deal. And I love the storyline. The storyline was fantastic. But I also loved seeing the previews of his new movie that'll be coming out in July of 2023, which is Mission Impossible. And again, looked like another action-packed. He's such a good actor. He just, personal life, whatever. But, he just is such a good actor. And, he enjoys his craft. So that was trending here. And then came back and we made some, plant-based Mediterranean dinner, and our neighbor came over who actually came out with us to see Top Gun. So it was a good day. And then I had my PT appointment. I had just a bunch of stuff going on, and I didn't get in the pool today. I may try to get in tonight to get in some activity. But yeah, it was great day.
That's awesome. And, I don't know if you heard the news, the sad news about President Trump's former wife, Ivana, passed away.
Yeah, I didn't hear, I literally, when John first said it, I thought he said someone else's name. So I was like, what? And then he clarified the name. And she was only 73. So
I know.
Too young.
I think they did, but I was in the midst of doing a little cooking, so I didn't hear. I had gotten the news alert, of course, and just shocking that 73 is young, in my opinion.
Right. I mean, at first I thought it was the daughter, and then, they said the name, but I don't recall hearing how she died though.
I only heard that she was found at the bottom of her stairs. So did she trip and fall and hit her head? Did she maybe have a heart attack? Like, I have no idea why. And I'm sure obviously they'll get to the bottom of that. So it's, just a lot of shocking news. And then, of course, there's always the other news, which I find very irritating. And
There's other news about what?
well, it's a
Spill the
controversial subject. Okay, so everybody's been warned. I caught a glimpse of one of those Senate hearings, and I don't know if it was a Senate hearing. I assume it was, because I think it was Senator Josh Hawley. And there was this woman that they were asking questions to.
That's probably the January 6th commission or whatever the heck they call it.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. But the woman that they were asking these questions to, he was asking the questions to was, so you believe a man can have a baby? And she's like, yes. So if I don't agree.
Yeah.
And anyway, so controversial in my mind. I'm sure controversial for many people. And for those who believe that, I don't know what to say other than science does not support that.
That would have to be an immaculate conception, and not the kind of immaculate conception that we are blessed with our faith with. And the sad thing about that is they know it. These kinds of headline news are to me is nothing more than a distraction. I also heard that besides calling pregnant moms birthing people, they're now describing the child, the baby, a cell form or a cell blob, and it's not human until it takes its first breath. So they're calling it a cell blob, something to that, cell something. It sounds like blob or form or mass, cell mass. I don't know. It's just, we're in crazy times. I mean, this is called clown world. And you know what? I think the clowns are getting a bad rap, sadly, but it is what it is.
Oh yeah, the actual clowns themselves. Yes,
yeah.
I would have to agree with that.
They're getting a bad rap, but I feel bad for the clowns because, although a lot of people do think clowns are scary looking and kind of, yes. I remember our mom had bought this little painting. She was into, different local artists, and she bought this painting. It was of a clown. And at that time, our son, Michael John, he loved clowns, and he had this, he called it clowning. It was this hand crocheted like clown doll or whatever. So she knew that, and she bought this painting, and he didn't tell me for years later. He goes, it would scare the crap out of me, Mom. And when you look at it, almost looks like, remember the old show, Red Butler? No, is it Red Butler?
Or Red Skeleton?
Red Skeleton. And he would do that, clown kind of skit. And sometimes, the makeup and stuff looked a little scary. That's what the picture kind of looked like. It kind of looked like that type of a, so it was in his bedroom, and we had it in his bedroom in Meriden, and then we had it in his bedroom in New Hampshire, and we had it in his bedroom in Massachusetts. And it wasn't until years later he said, Mom, that thing was the scariest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, oh my God, you never told me. So he goes, that thing that kept staring at me, that clown. I'm like, yeah. So there are some scary clowns out there, but for the most part, clowns are supposed to be, jovial and doing, magic and funny, goofy things. And you associate a clown with a circus. And that is why a lot of people are associating what's going on in our world. We're in a circus world, run by a clown. So I feel bad I feel bad for those that portray a clown. Really do.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I think it's interesting that when things like this happen and you go to chat about it, and we know that a lot of people are very sensitive to different subjects, as I know I am, to different things, and I get that, but I think we're just getting too woke. And
that's exactly what's happening.
And I'm just like, I am kind of over all of it. And that's why I said I have to limit my intake. I can't do it.
But going back to Ivana Trump, it did say that the Manhattan paramedics responded to a call for cardiac arrest, found a 73-year-old woman in the Upper East Side apartment where Ivana Trump lived just after 12:30 p.m. Thursday. According to the Fire Department of New York, she was pronounced dead at the scene, said the New York PD. It said Ivana Trump was found unconscious and unresponsive at the bottom of a set of stairs in her apartment. According to police sources, the police are investigating whether she fell, and if so, whether the fall contributed in any way to her death. The medical examiner will determine her cause of death, police said. So either, she could have been sadly having a heart attack and, was on the stairs, and obviously, when you collapse, you're going to tumble, and it could have been that, she hit her head and or she had a heart attack and then just her body fell down the stairs. So our thoughts and prayers are with the family. She was an amazing woman. She was a figure skater. She lived in Canada. She was also very much into modeling, and she was just one of those entrepreneurs that was out of her time, for when she lived, and a beautiful, beautiful woman, and obviously raised some amazing children. So our hearts and prayers go to their family.
Yes, absolutely. What else is happening?
So what else is happening? We've had gorgeous weather here, despite, this is the summertime all over. But generally speaking, they say Florida is very humid. So we've had some hot, humid days, but the humidity the last couple of days have been on the little lower side, I think. Still very hot, but nothing that has been too cray-cray. So that's kind of nice. And getting back into the groove, I'm starting to feel, my shoulder's starting to feel pretty good now.
Good.
My hip, that's what I'm doing, the PT, my hip and my knee. I've been using some CBD oil and then, getting some good workouts in. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, within the next week or so, I'm going to just try getting back on the courts, just very limited, a few games, because I've not been on the courts for, it's been at least 4 months now, maybe once in the last 4 months. So I'm anxious to get back out. I know a lot of people play at nighttime now because obviously the daylight hours, it's a little bit warmer, and we have some great lighting, so we can play at night. So that might be something I might try just for the first couple times. I don't want to, overheat and then, still not have my 100% mobility. So I may try, just a little bit at night just to try to get a feel for it, because I'm dying to get back on the courts. And I know when I go up north, I'm going to want to play. So I better get my act together.
Yeah, exactly. And, I had heard this week too, and I don't remember the football player's name.
Yes, the one who died.
Yeah,
Well, and he was found dead in Miami, and so his apartment's air conditioning. So I don't understand the whole.
What happened was he likes to work out, and he like a Bikram yoga. You're in that hot environment. So he had, from what I said, what I had heard, he had his heat on to 90 degrees, and I guess he, likes working out like that, and excessive, heat. And,
Yeah, I don't know. I still say just something just sounds a little bizarro to me, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. We know that.
yeah, a lot of strange things going around.
Oh, I do have some good news, which is trending. I don't know exactly when it was voted down, but Massachusetts, now Connecticut passed this 2 years ago, sadly, that they took away the religious exemption for being forced to have the thing in the arm, and Massachusetts voted it down. So religious exemption is still intact, which is a big win, especially in a liberal type of state. So I thought that was pretty good news. But the other sad news that I'm hearing about is a lot of states are adopting that a child of 13, twofold, when they turn 13, and depending on what state, a parent has to seek permission from the 13-year-old to view their medical charts, number one. And number two, what's happening in a lot of schools, which is trending quite a bit today, is the fact that there are some states, and I'm going to give you an example. I'm not going to say which state it is right now, that it must have been, close to the end of school season, and a parent received a phone call from the school nurse and said, your child forgot to pick up their prescription. And, obviously the parent's puzzled. What do you mean prescription? My child doesn't take any medication. Oh, well, we prescribed a antidepressant. Unbeknownst to the parents, and supposedly they can do that. And this is happening in quite a few states. The other thing that is happening, of course, they're really big on giving little, what I call kind of like a questionnaire. A lot of schools are doing this, but also, and they're very similar, also doctor offices. So the girl that does my nail, and my nails came out really pretty today. And thanks to everyone who guessed what, and you got it right as well, is the Tiffany, the drop dead Tiffany. I'm like stuck on that color, but what she did, and you can't see it for our viewers, I can't see. It's a Tiffany blue, but she added like little iridescent flakes to it. So it's kind of cute. And back to the survey. So it's on a patient form, because the child's 13. So this child received this questionnaire form unbeknownst to the parent. 13 years old and up, safety portion. Do you know how to swim? Do you wear your seatbelt in the car? Do you wear a helmet when biking or skating? Do you worry about anyone physically hurting or bullying you? Have you ever been in jail? Have you ever been told that you have HIV? Have you ever had sex, intercourse, or oral sex? HIV testing is recommended for all teenagers 13 and up. Would you like to be tested today? Have you ever had an alcoholic drink? Have you ever smoked or vaped? Have you ever used or tried marijuana or any other drug that wasn't prescribed for you? Person filling out form, and would be the 13-year-old. So this particular parent grabbed the form and she said, and the first comment from the 13-year-old, Mom, what's HIV? He's 13 years old. What's HIV? So of course she lambasted the doctor's office, saying, like, we're not even at that stage yet to be having these conversations, but now you've forced me to have these conversations, which she had every intention of when I felt he was ready, but he's not, she She's a mom that scrutinizes. He only has a cell phone for emergency calls. He's not on the internet. I'm sure, 13 years old, of course you hear things from a sexual perspective, but, HIV may be a subject that he's not privy to. And now, this mother's got to go into this topic and was not prepared, obviously, but now she came home and, she had that talk with him and explained things. And of course, the kid was, grossed out.
Mhm.
So parents are being forced to address issues. And just because you're a certain age does not mean that you are mentally at that age. There are a lot of 13-year-olds really that have the mindset of a 9-year-old. And you may have a 13-year-old that might have the mindset of a 16-year-old. It can go either way.
Mhm.
That's where the parent really should have the say. And it seems like the more and more that this circus world occurs, that what it's doing is putting a division between the child and the parent, and the school kind of taking over that, or the doctor's office taking on that very important parental role where they have no right to. And this is why parents are in an uproar. These are why a lot of teachers are in an uproar, because they don't want to deal with this stuff. Like, we're not psychologists. We're not comfortable talking about these subject matters with the child. That's for, we don't want to step on parents' toes. And I actually saw two, one was a moderate Democrat and one was really to the left. And their perspective was, this is basically a 1/2 concern vote for us in November. Because if the people that, I'm the constituents of, if the person that's in office, House of Representatives or the senator from my state, if they're not agreeing that this stuff that's going on in the schools and this crap that's going on, doctors' offices and, the books that are in the libraries, all that, if they are not willing, and the pornographic and the whole, I'm trying to think what they call them. It's a reading, a drag queen reading, whatever. And people go like, why are you so concerned that, your child may want to listen to the drag queen? The question should be, why does the drag queen, want to perform in front of children? Because, I think of a drag queen as a performer. And so you got all this craziness going on. So there are a lot of Democrats that are saying, oh, so there's three things I've learned over the last 2.5 years. You don't mess around with someone's child or grandchild. You don't mess around with their food. And you don't mess around with like their money. So when those three things happen, their livelihood, you start messing around with their livelihood, their kids, gas, especially your children, like they've, mama bears and grandparent bears and papa bears, they're coming out full force. Like, don't be screwing around with my kid, trying to indoctrinate them into something that I don't want them exposed to. Let children be children and stop trying to take away their innocence away. I don't know, that's how I feel about it.
That is crazy. And of course, there were some other news stories, but I'm like, I got to stay away from the news. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
It's too much. And
so how do you get through that when, and that's why I always say, you be the trendsetter. I mean, the alerts, you can't ignore them. They're out there, whether even if you're staying away from the news, you're getting the alerts on your cell phone, right? Or, your email, you're getting.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You're getting tons of those. So what I tell people is, don't ignore these things. You do have to address them. You have to validate that these things are really going on in our country, as crazy, as loony as it sounds, but don't dive in so deep. And we've all done that. We always talk about that, because it's not good for your health, your wellness, your soul, your mindset, your joy. It really puts a stressful, because, people, as much as they don't want to know that the future is going to be good, bad, or indifferent, they need to know whether it's going to be good, bad, or indifferent. And my thing is, you always go for the good. That, our country's going through a tough time. Parents are going through a tough time. schools, you name it. A lot of people are going through a tough time, but we are resilient. Our country's resilient, and we will get through this.
Yes, we will. And on that note, and because you had hip therapy the other day, right? My hip is actually bothering me.
Oh, no.
Oh, just a little bit.
Yeah.
I think, and
Well, one good exercise, and for those of you that are out there that are, wondering what kind of exercise I'm doing, they actually do a lot of stretching of the calf muscles. They do believe that my knee issue is related to my hip. So there's, the exercises that they're doing encompasses obviously the leg, so it does encompass the knee. If you have a long belt or even a elastic band, put it around your ankle, lie flat down and pull from one side, hold it for 30 seconds, let it go. Pull it for 30 seconds. So I did that 2 minutes each on either side. I've also done where you're lying down and you're almost in Indian style and you let both of your legs go on either side, Indian style, to stretch that muscle. A lot of, sitting and really stretching the calf muscle is another good one. I'm only doing one step. That's how they start out. And you're kind of going up and down, go up with the right, down with the left, and vice versa. I'm doing that and doing some electrical current type things, and then ice. So I'm doing all those things with a few other exercises in between, but I starting to feel pretty good.
good. Glad to hear that. And on that note, we will definitely see you tomorrow morning for Fantabulous Friday. And this is Trending Thursday. So much trending, whether it be in the news or maybe you're the trendsetter. Let us know what's trending for you. We would love to hear from you. Go to our website, www.TwoSistas.online. My name is Janis, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and I am with two
Sisters, and this is Carroll-Sue, aka gonna get in a little bit of movement. We wish you a great Trending Thursday. As we said, you be the trend center. You show everybody that you can lead with kindness and positivity, despite all the negative things that are going on in our world. The people around you are going to thank you, but you're going to feel good about that as well. You're not going to get sucked into all that. And we will see you tomorrow bright and early for Fantabulous Friday. Have a good night, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.